Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome back to our channel, Two Peas in a Crime Pod. This is my mama, Kelly,
Hey.
with her fluffy, wild, majestic hair today. Oh, I love it. She is the show manager, the leader, the mind. She is the man behind the curtain, if you will.
Today we're going to take over the world.
And the brain, yes.
This is my absolutely wonderful daughter, Courtney. And she comes in and she really doesn't know anything we're going to be talking about until we talk about it. So
I don't really know anything in general.
that's a lie. But anyways, she has lots of funny things to say, lots of wise comments, and lots of wit. So we love everything she has to say, and she adds so much to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for always having me.
You are welcome, and thank you for being here. If this is your first time, please consider subscribing or giving us a like or a comment.
Yes, welcome.
And if you're returning, thank you so much. We appreciate you. We have this amazing audience. We're doing great. We have 7,000 subscribers,
Yeah.
and
This is a safe place for everybody, unless you're a piece of shit.
well,
And then
we're not politically correct.
This isn't your place. But yeah, we want all the people with all the viewpoints to come and
Sure.
and comment and tell us what you think, or tell us what your experiences are like wherever you're from, since we have subscribers from all over the world now.
Yes,
So yeah, don't be afraid to weigh in. We want to hear it. So
absolutely.
tell us what you think.
Please.
And subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your moms.
So we've been working on John Lennon 3-part series, and today we're at the conclusion. So if you missed parts 1 and 2, I highly encourage you to go back and watch them. They'll give you a lot of understanding about what's going to happen in this episode. And there's just a lot of facts that you may not know that you thought you knew. So it's good stuff.
I learned a lot.
Plus,
I
there's
was
some
shocked.
hilariousness about the penis ripper, or Courtney called me the dick
I
ripper.
called her the Dick Ripper. That's a great story.
And religious funny stories, and yeah, we just went there a lot of times.
Yes.
So you don't want to miss it.
Yep. Go back. Watch 1 and 2. Then come back here. Watch this one.
And we are plotting a live video. We don't have a date
Yes.
set. It's in the beginning, early stages of development. We will let you know about a
Yes.
week ahead of time.
We're planning a live event, so you'll all be able to tune us and see us in real time, which
Yeah.
is terrifying. I mean, great and exciting.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to cut out the things that we didn't want to say.
Yes, I'll have to. We're gonna have to start kicking each other. Like if you're, I'll just be like, stop saying it. Yeah,
No, we'll give it to you straight, however it comes out.
there you go.
So you'll definitely want to not miss that.
It should be fun. Yeah, no, absolutely.
hope
I don't
so.
think
We'd
it'll.
like to interact with
I
you.
don't think
That's
it'll
what we're
bug
looking
me.
forward to.
I feel like we're always live. I just tell myself that. You're probably the one that'll get all like in your head.
It is my ex-husband, Courtney's father, who we highlighted in the Pike County episode. There's some pictures of him in that episode doing some cool hillbilly stuff.
Love
But-
cool hillbilly stuff.
He's the one that suggested we should do live because we hadn't really considered it. And
He
we
was
think
like,
it's a great idea.
a live event would help you really connect with your subscribers. And I was like, okay, Dad.
He's a hillbilly, and we're like, "Are you watching the show?" And thank you, and we're so pleased to have
And he
your
was like,
support.
no, I'm not watching you bitches. He was like, I get on there to watch guys rebuild cars or talk about guns or find trash or
Right.
live off his hillbilly things that he watches. And he was like, but I'm sure your stuff is great. And the
But do
people
this.
that
He
I
wants to be
like
helpful.
watching, they do this. And I was like, okay, well, thank you, Dad, always. I told him if we
you.
keep bringing him up anymore, we're going to have to like give him royalties someday. Like,
Maybe we could just have him on the show one time. We'll pick a really good episode, something that he can really weigh in on.
Oh, we should do Lorena Bobbitt. Ah!
Oh, yeah.
Talk about dick ripper. But no, that story is actually incredibly. Do you know that full story?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, she was put through hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that story is wild.
Well, your dad would never come on and do this, but
no, I'd have to trick him. We'd have to just go to Clay's and like secretly record a conversation that we were having.
Okay.
And then be like, oh, we turn it into an episode. It would just be you're like that. You guys just get in your head.
He would be embarrassed if his friends saw it.
If we were just having a conversation, he would just, no problems.
Yeah.
If I said, I'm turning the phone on, we're going to record this as an episode, that's when he would get all like in his head and be like,
I'm not saying shit from now on until you turn that off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, all my best conversations that I have are secretly recorded. It's the best way to catch him. All right. Well, let's do our dramatic conclusion.
Okay.
Of the murder of John Lennon.
Okay. So, December 8th, 1980. This is the day of the murder. Chapman arrived outside the Dakota early that morning. He carried a .38 caliber revolver and hollow point bullets. Do you know about hollow? Well, of course you do. They are meant to leave nothing alive. Hollow point bullets are meant to destroy. They're destructive. They're meant to do as much damage internally as they can.
If I'm not mistaken, if what I've learned is, if I'm recalling the information right, if it's not hollow point and it's not hollow, it's, who the fuck is moving upstairs? Is that Christopher? What's he doing? It sounds like he's
playing
dragging
with
a
the
body.
dog, probably.
Oh,
He probably
okay.
threw the ball.
Yeah, this is a great time to do that. God damn it. Put some respect on our name. You know we're recording down here. Anyways, what's the point that I'm trying to say? If it's not hollow and it's got mass in the middle of it, when you shoot, depending on the caliber of the bullet, it's going to want to continue on through because obviously it's got mass to it, so
Yes.
it can punch
It can
through,
go right through
and do less damage. If it is hollow on the inside and it's lighter, when the bullet pierces whatever it hits,
It doesn't have an end on it. It's like this.
yes, it goes
The
through.
end has a-
It tears. Well, even bullets that aren't hollow point can have that in the tip, but it goes through and it tears in, and then shrapnel
Opens.
explodes out.
Yes.
Yes, it allows it to spread within. So, like, for instance, if you get shot in the head and it goes through right here and then out the back, you might not necessarily die. You might, like, it might have just passed right through. But if you get shot with a hollow point and it goes in, it's going to, like, explode shrapnel within your brain into, like, more regions or wherever you were to get shot at. So that's why it's...
Right. I think 80s gangster rappers refer to them as cop killers.
That sounds correct. Also, that's why, like, a .22 caliber bullet is very, very skinny, like a smaller than a pencil. And
Yes.
when it shoots, the initial firing has like enough to enter the skull, but then it doesn't have enough oomph to exit back out of the skull. So what happens is that it bounces off the other side and ricochets within the skull cavity,
Oh, how cool.
scrambling the brain.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
See, I told you she had lots of interesting facts.
yeah, these are the things you know when you grow up with hillbilly. Yeah. So yeah, I know what I would use. I mean, I know what people use. Just kidding.
Well, he had the hollow points, and he had a copy of The Catcher in the Rye, which we talked about last episode if you want to know what that's referring to. And then he waited. John Lennon woke up that morning in his apartment at the Dakota, feeling, by all accounts, happy and grounded. It was a busy day for him, actually. He had a lot planned. So, there were no arguments or a sense of danger or looming dread. And we say that because his whole entire life, he felt like he was going to die young or be assassinated. Basically, nothing.
Maybe not his whole. Maybe not since he was 3, but for
Wh-
a while.
Adult life, I should
Yes.
say.
Yeah.
Adult life. He didn't have any premonitions this day. So,
Just in case they didn't watch episode 1 and 2, and they're like, I'm already here. I'm just gonna watch. I just wanted them to know, like,
yeah.
John Lennon wasn't like schizophrenic and thought that he like they were out to get him since he was a boy.
Sorry, that was my faux pas.
It came with it came with the fame, I'd say.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it was a domestic morning. John had spent time with his wife, Yoko, and they focused on their 5-year-old son, Sean, and talked about future plans. Probably talked about the day because, like I said, they had a lot scheduled that day. Friends later said John was in a particularly good mood during this particular period of his life. He had returned to music, but not to the chaos.
And he had to feel good about that album.
Yes, he did.
Had to know, like, these are fucking bangers.
Yeah, he had to be getting excited about it.
Like, yeah, this is all good. Like, confidently. You know?
Mm-hmm. I would think so. So he wasn't chasing fame anymore. He felt like he had earned his peace. Late that morning, there was an interview with the Rolling Stone magazine, and they were coming to the Dakota to interview him in his home. And this was to promote the up-and-coming album that he was releasing, Double Fantasy. So that day, the journalist's name was David Sheff, and he arrived to conduct what would become one of the most famous interviews in music history. It's called The Interview That Feels Like a Farewell, but wasn't. For hours, John spoke openly about his childhood and the Beatles. He spoke about his anger and his mistakes, and especially his love for Yoko and devotion to his son Sean. He spoke with clarity and self-awareness, and he explicitly said, "I feel like my life has just begun." He emphasized that he wasn't bitter, he wasn't burned out, and he wasn't done.
I don't know. Does that make it eerie or does that make it peaceful for you that he died just later that day after those sentiments?
Honestly, for him, eerie, but for the people around him, I would say peaceful, knowing that he was in a good place. Spiritually, physically.
Yeah.
He was in a good place when he died.
Yeah.
It's sad and it's eerie that it happened, for him personally, losing his life. But for those that survived and had to live without him, it was probably really good to know that he was in a good place.
It's interesting. I was thinking the complete opposite. I was thinking that for him, he'd be like, I was at peace. I
Oh.
always kind of saw it coming anyways, and
Oh.
I'm in a good headspace, and okay. And everybody else was like creeped out and just sad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I can see it your way, though. Like I can see it either way.
I kind of can too, but for me, just personally, it's sad, but yet I'm always looking for that silver lining.
Yeah.
So
that's where, like, I want to be like, at least he spoke so openly and transparently, and
yeah, he filled in a lot of blanks.
He felt happy, and at least he felt good. You know what I mean?
Yes, and
but he probably didn't feel done though. He probably
no,
felt like I'm finally happy, and now I'm.
Yeah, he said, "I'm not done."
Yeah, I'm.
He was just getting started.
Searching on my path to better myself and see what's next. His son was so young.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he felt like I had done everything I wanted to do in my life, he had to think like I want to see my son through. You know what I mean?
Oh, he wasn't done by any means.
So,
yeah. He really was just beginning.
Another album doesn't tell me that you're.
He said, "I feel like my life has just begun."
Yeah. Yeah. Sad.
So there was laughter and reflection and no darkness whatsoever. It was not a man in despair. It was a man looking forward. After the interview, the photographer Annie Leibovitz arrived. She was originally scheduled to photograph just John alone, but he refused. He insisted that Yoko be included. So the result was John was nude and curled protectively around Yoko, who was fully clothed. It was an artistic vision that John had of a reversal of expectation, a visual statement of vulnerability and devotion.
Okay.
Yeah, it later appeared on the. I'll see if I can find a picture of it and add it to our video when I edit
Well,
it.
think about the immediate how the connotation of that would change if he was fully clothed and she was wrapped around him naked. Maybe the same vulnerability, but more of an ownership and she's mine and it's weird how when you change that and she's the one who's clothed and he's wrapped around her naked. That's what you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that it shows an entirely different thing. There's still the vulnerability, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it shows his humility, whereas if it was a man with a naked woman, it would show like his dominance.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like you could
I
get
think it was important for him, for the world to know, I owe my life to
I'm like
Yoko.
humbly yours. Yeah, yes.
I think that's what the message was that
Yeah,
he was trying to get
absolutely.
across. So it later appeared on the cover of Rolling Stone that was published after his death. But at the time, it was just another creative moment.
Yeah.
No one knew it would become the last portrait of John Lennon. So then later that afternoon, John reviewed the mixes from Double Fantasy and he was talking about future recording ideas. And they discussed possibly touring again someday. But he was cautious about that. He didn't have any desire to return to the machine of fame,
Like
as
I
he
said
called
in the
it.
other episode, I bet that he was a little bit like, what if that opens up a can of worms and
Mm-hmm.
I lose this sense of peace that I finally have? Like there had to be a little hesitancy there to like step anywhere back where he used to be.
He was definitely thinking about it carefully.
Yeah.
He wanted control. He wanted balance, and he very much wanted to be present for his son. Those were where his focus was. But he did want to do his
It
music.
probably seemed hard. Yeah, you still want to, but you have to figure out like how's that going to look though? How can I make that look the way I want it to look?
Yes,
Um, and balance everything that's important to me because I was not doing it correctly before. And
exactly.
that's all I know.
I'm sure he was afraid of that happening. Yeah. Around 5 o'clock, John and Yoko prepared to leave for the record plant studio. And as they exited the Dakota, John stopped to sign autographs as he usually did. And he was speaking casually with his fans. Among them was Mark David Chapman. And Chapman had a copy of the Double Fantasy and asked John to sign it, which John did. And he looked Chapman right in the eye and smiled. He had no idea that he was signing his own death artifact. A photographer actually captured the moment. It is the last photo ever taken of John Lennon, unknowingly showing his killer standing just feet away. Chapman later said, "I was tempted to shoot him right then, but he didn't. He waited." So at the studio that evening, John worked on Yoko's tracks. And he was offering encouragement and giving suggestions. Witnesses described him as focused, gentle, and supportive.
Maybe the suggestions were, honey, maybe this one should just be an instrumental. That would have been my suggestion.
Oh.
Just kidding. Love you, Yoko girl.
This wasn't ego-driven artistry for him. It was definitely a partnership. And he wasn't trying to boss her around or...
No, listening to that would absolutely crush the ego in your spirit. Yeah. Nope.
All right.
Sorry. I just can't. You're right, though. It's like, oh.
No, I know I don't get her music at all in
out there.
any way. I Did you ever see the one where she's like, I think it's David Bowie or Chuck Berry, and he's just looking like, what the fuck is going on? But he has to just keep on playing and performing. Yeah. There's a clip of that somewhere. You have to look it up.
Yeah.
It's funny. And she's just making noise. That's how I see her. I don't see her as being a musician. I just see her as noisy.
Yeah. I never got it. Like I said, I think it was just coattails of John Lennon. I don't know. Please let me know if you're like a genuine, bona fide fan of Yoko.
Is there such a thing?
And you're like, shut the fuck up, put some respect on her name. Please let me know.
Sure.
I just feel like I've never met anyone that was like, oh yeah, I dig Yoko stuff. It's really good.
Yeah, I never
I've
have.
never met that person, but maybe they're out there. And I'm not just hating on like other people or different kinds of music. Of the family, I listen to the most wide variety of music.
Yes, you do.
genres.
Yes.
I'm the farthest out there on every thing, and I love weird shit. I have a playlist on my Spotify called my weird shit playlist.
Oh.
I love weird shit.
Nice. I'll have to hear that sometime.
And I'll tell you, nothing comes close to fucking Yoko stuff. So yeah, please let me know if you're like,
for me,
why aren't you hearing what I'm hearing? It's beautiful.
My weird shit playlist is like, what are they called? The guys that play their guitars with the violin.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about? Oh, what are they called? Starts with an N, maybe not. They were very prevalent in the Tom Cruise movie. I think that's where they got famous because they played their music in the Tom Cruise movie Vanilla Sky.
Oh, you love that fucking movie.
I know. And I love that music, but it's called the Nothing Song. And it's in a different language, so you can't understand what they're saying. But that's my weird shit.
Sometimes you can still get a vibe.
It's still total vibes. It totally hits.
I don't have to understand the words to like get a feeling about a song. Like, no, not at all. That's not it.
Yeah.
It just sounds like screaming cats.
It's just noise, yeah.
On a chalkboard.
It's irritating noise.
Yeah, yes. Not rhythmic or...
I don't understand the artistry in that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Not pleasant like a happy-go-lucky song, because I love like a lot of really depressing music. Pleasant to my ears.
Right.
Like pleasing to my ears as far as melodies go and rhythms and yeah. All right. Well, in memory and in honor of John, I'm going to stop talking about how much I can't stand his wife. He adored.
He did adore her. He did. He credited her with saving his life.
He was like, "Let's go hit the studio."
And I love that about her. I love that she saved his life because I love who he evolved into after the Beatles.
Yeah, it seemed like he was in a much better place. So thankful to her for that.
Yes.
I don't know. Just wild. If he never met her, would he still be alive? Probably not. He probably would have fucking overdosed on heroin, right? He was in a
I think so.
spiral, right?
I think he was self-destructing.
So he got 5 good years with his son. He had time to reflect and to show both of his sons that you could change who you were and you could self-reflect, and he wrote an amazing album.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
He did all kinds of cool things.
Thank you, Yoko. You can't listen to Double Fantasy and not, like, give props to Yoko.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is clearly a man that is in love and that is loved and that is softened and wiser.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yes. All right. Around 10:30, John and Yoko decided to head home because they were tired and Sean was waiting. So at 10:50, they returned to the Dakota. And as their car pulled up, John exited first and Yoko followed. And they walked toward the arched entrance. John was just steps from home. Then, without warning, shots rang out. 4 bullets struck John Lennon. 2 in the back, 1 in the shoulder, and unfortunately 1 in the chest that tore through his aorta. Which, if you're going to get shot, you don't want to get shot with a hollow point through your aorta.
No, there's no repairing that, and you're bleeding out.
Exactly. He should have fallen and been dead as soon as it struck his aorta, because that pretty much eliminates blood from getting to your brain.
You don't have long, that's for sure.
But he staggered up the steps into the lobby, and he managed to say, "I'm shot." And then he collapsed. So imagine being Yoko and seeing the love of your life shot to death right in front of your eyes by this piece of shit guy that he just signed his autograph earlier that day.
Yeah, just absolutely traumatized. Like everything about it, the loud noise, the city's already overstimulating. Then you have these loud gunshots ringing out next to you, confusion. And then you see him staggering, and the whole thing just, like you said, just right before your eyes.
It'd be unbearable.
Yeah, and knowing that you were so close to the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, did she say, like, I recognized him as the man that we stopped for earlier, or?
I didn't see anything about that, but chances are she did.
At that point, I don't know if it would have clicked or not. You know, they sign a lot of autographs.
That's true. She may not have been really focusing in on him.
Yeah. Just another white boy, but.
Yeah.
No, I can't even imagine watching a person that I love get shot, dying right in front of me. No.
Yeah, it would be unbearable. It would just be one of the worst things.
Yeah.
So when Chris and I were first dating, they had a exhibit at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It was the John Lennon exhibit.
Mm-hmm.
And Yoko had donated a lot of things to the exhibit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we went, and she had donated a lot of his music that he had handwritten notes on, and drawings. And the most disturbing thing they had in a display case right in the middle of everything was John Lennon's glasses, his eye spectacles. And it was in a glass.
Glasses. Guys, glasses. These are glasses. This is a...
Yeah, not like things that he drank out of.
You said his eye spectacles?
Well, who knows if some people could think that this is a glass and that she donated his glasses.
That's a mug.
I'm trying to be...
In case you live under a bridge and you don't know that John Lennon has circular glasses. Like fucking Harry Potter. I love you.
I'm trying to build, and you're making this funny joke. That's why I love you, though. That's why I love you. Okay. His spectacles were in this display case. It was a glass display case, and just his spectacles were just sitting there.
Are glasses really called spectacles?
Yes. That is the English term for them.
That sounds weird all of a sudden.
The British term.
You're making a spectacle of yourself. I thought that just meant a sight. They are called spectacles?
Yes.
A monocle is just
one. Uh-huh. I guess spectacles means two.
I guess.
I don't know. I hadn't planned on delving into it.
I don't know. Just, you ever say a word and then you're like, hold on, that's a word?
Well, the point was it was so disturbing because there was blood all over the glasses.
As I ruined your moment.
It really was.
It was the glasses he was wearing when
It was the glasses he was wearing when he died.
Mm-hmm. And there was still blood on them.
And she never washed the blood off. Yeah.
No, that would be intense.
It made a statement. It definitely made a statement. And
oh, yeah.
You kind of felt even closer to him. That was his blood, you know?
Yeah, yes. They have a piece of the
personal
plane that Otis Redding was flying in when he crashed and died.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have a piece of...
Where?
Piece of the plane. At Rock Hall.
Oh, at the Rock Hall.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, they changed their displays.
They do. They change them out.
So I don't think it was there when I went. There was a Rolling Stones display.
There's some stuff that I've always seen every time I go, and then there's some stuff that's definitely changed.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. They try to. It's curated well. They try to switch it out so that you're not.
Yeah,
so that you
want to go back. So to see something different.
Yeah. I didn't know that they had John Lennon's sunglasses though. Sometimes it seems weird because we're from Ohio and it's Cleveland, and to us it's like no big deal, you know. And it seems weird that it is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and like there are legitimate like artifacts there that only an hour away from us is where they're kept.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And some of them are only on loan. I don't know. Maybe they gave those back, but a lot of them are just donated and kept there.
Like clothing and guitars and yeah. Well, after the shooting, Chapman did not run away. He calmly removed his coat. He sat down near the entrance and opened up the Catcher in the Rye and began reading. When the police arrived, Chapman raised his hand and said, "I'm the one you want."
Okay.
I know. Courtney just made a gesture of jerking off.
I did.
Those of you that are listening.
A fucking jerk off. No, but I mean, it doesn't show that you're insane. Like I said, like you didn't run away. You're not insane. You just have fucking superiority complex. You just think that
you're just so happy with what you did.
You're just a fucking egomaniac.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your stupid fucking book. Cram it up your cram hole. Bend over and I'll show you where to put the fucking. You're gonna catch it.
Well, the police are the ones that rushed Lennon to Roosevelt Hospital in the back of the squad car. So they didn't even wait for an ambulance. And doctors attempted emergency surgery, but like we said, a hollow point through the aorta. Now coming back from that, the wounds were catastrophic. And unfortunately, he had lost a massive amount of blood already. So by 11:15, he was pronounced dead. Yoko Ono was informed privately, and then the world would find out almost minutes later. So,
yeah, it was going to be hard to keep that off the streets.
Yeah, things happened a little differently in the 80s than they do now. Like now everybody knows like this. Yeah. It kind of happened in slow motion. Like they didn't find out instantaneously.
Well, nobody was there to live stream it.
Exactly.
Because now anybody who would have been anywhere near that brownstone would have been like, oh, look, it's John Lennon's place. Even if they were just tourists and they didn't even, and they're like, oh my, like, holy shit, I actually caught him. He's getting out of his car. It's him. You know what I mean? Like the kind of things that we see happen now, let alone paparazzi that like would just plant themselves outside of someone's house like that.
Right.
But, yeah, there wasn't any of that. There was the neighbors who heard, who started probably calling around because they had the juicy story. And, you know, reporters in town that listen to police scanners and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's your fastest way is if a reporter gets it and it's hot enough that it's going to make that evening's news or morning's, whenever it happens.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah. So.
That might even been one that was popular enough to like record, like to cut in like, this is Channel 8 cutting in with special announcement. You know what I mean?
I would say that they did.
Probably.
I don't know for sure on that, but oh yeah, it says right here, interruptions. So, okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, I
bet
any money.
News of the shooting, it's spread in fragments. Many people first heard it from radio DJs breaking down live on air and crying. And then the late night TV was interrupted with the headline. And then from someone running into a room saying John Lennon's been shot.
Yeah, I mean, to a lot of people, he stood for peace and nothing else, just a peaceful person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not everybody. Maybe not his ex-girlfriend who he used to smack around or whatever, like he said.
Right.
But he was old enough that he was becoming honest about that and owning it and trying to turn it around. And like I said, he had so much fame and he could have used it for any reason or not used it at all and squandered it. And he really tried to promote peace and change with it. So
Absolutely.
it did devastate a lot of people. There's
It
nothing
did.
that scares people more than like when they feel like you're a person who just has good intentions, that's just peaceful, and someone wants to take you out because of that.
And you're so loved.
Yeah.
And some jerk comes along and ruins it for everybody.
Yeah.
So a lot of people thought it was a mistake, and others refused to believe it until the word dead was actually spoken aloud. And that was pretty much by midnight. The world understood that John Lennon was gone. Unlike today's social media tributes, the grief mourning unfolded slowly and very visibly. So the first person I want to talk about was Paul McCartney's reaction.
Now in the first episode, you said, "This motherfucker, just wait to hear what he had to say." So now I've been waiting to hear what he had to say that pissed you off so bad.
He said,
"Bummer.
It's a drag, isn't it?"
That's all he said. Oh, I was not far off when I said bummer.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a drag, isn't it? His music partner, bandmate, he was just pissed off because John left. He was a Yoko hater.
I'm sure that's not the only, like, for the next 20 years, anybody who brought up John Lennon, he just deadpanned and went, "Yeah, it's a drag, isn't it?" I'm sure there was other things that he said.
Well, after he was criticized, he later explained that he was in shock and emotionally numb. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it, Paul. You were jealous and you were happy he was gone and you thought it's what he deserved. He said, I was unable to process the loss.
There's a second round of shots fired, goddamn.
Years later, then, he said he was deeply traumatized and couldn't talk about John without breaking down. I don't believe that either. Because he's talking about him but not breaking down.
Mom's got your fucking number.
That's right,
Paul. Mom ain't buying your shit, Paul. Sell it somewhere else.
So George Harrison was quietly devastated. He had described John as a tremendous force in his life, and he actually withdrew from public view and then later honored Lennon through music rather than words. Ringo Starr, and I was surprised by this, he immediately flew to New York to be with Yoko Ono and just said, I just wanted to hold her because he knew what this would do to her. So
Ringo was a real one.
He was a real one, and he was a friend, and he was one of the few people allowed close in those first private hours of grief. So
I didn't know that.
That should have been Paul.
No.
Wasn't going to be, because he's a jealous little twerp with very excellent writing, musical capabilities.
He's a cock-a-doodie.
He is a cock-a-doodie, Mr. Man.
Oh.
Well, Elton John dedicated performances to Lennon afterwards and then later released the song. I don't know if you know that Empty Garden is written for John Lennon.
Yes, absolutely.
The one that's Hey, Hey, Johnny. It was released in 1982. And
that
it was
song reminds me of riding in the fucking, what was that, Caprice?
Mm-hmm.
And you had it on the tape deck.
Mm-hmm.
And we would listen to, oh God, you're obsessed with that song.
I love that song.
It's a good one,
it's a beautiful song.
It is. It is a beautiful song. It's a beautiful tribute to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
But it was filled with regret, anger, and longing. And it became one of the most emotional musical tributes ever written for a fallen friend.
Oh, I've been calling. Won't you come out?
Won't you come out and play? Johnny D. Won't you come out and play in your empty garden? Johnny D. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to hit you with a harmony and you stopped. Well,
sorry.
Killed the moment. No, it's a beautiful song. If you've never heard Empty Garden by John Lennon, you got to go check it out after this episode.
It's by Elton John.
What did I say?
John
Lennon. I'm sorry.
It's about John Lennon.
It's about John Lennon by Elton. Yes, sorry.
Yes.
My words went.
There were actors and artists and writers who expressed grief in newspapers and interviews over the following months, such as Bob Dylan, David Bowie, Bruce Springsteen, which I'm surprised to hear because he wasn't really from that era, but obviously it affected him.
Yeah.
And Andy Warhol. What stands out is how restrained most of them were. There wasn't a spectacle, just disbelief. But the one that was the most important was Yoko Ono's mourning. It was very public, very dignified, and very deliberate. She issued a very brief statement that said, "There is no funeral for John." And then she just asked the world for 10 minutes of silence on December 14th. And no speeches, no songs, no commentary, just silence. And millions complied. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
10 minutes of silence for John. All across the globe. Radios went quiet. People stopped in the streets. And churches and schools and workplaces paused. It was one of the largest collective silences in history. Which tells you,
I knew that.
It's going to make me cry talking about it.
Oh.
But yeah, it just tells you how much he was beloved.
Yeah.
By the world, you know. So that was how, his peers had responded, but how regular people mourned. The streets became sanctuaries. Celebrity grief was subdued. Public grief was overwhelming.
Yeah.
In New York City, outside the Dakota, thousands gathered and candles burned day and night. People cried openly with strangers, and there was no anger towards each other or anybody else, just shock and sadness. In Central Park, across from Lennon's home, people gathered in what would later become Strawberry Fields.
Yes.
And they sang Beatles songs softly together.
And it's beautiful. The Imagine tile work, it's beautiful. Like I said, I think I'm going to send you my pictures and you can post it again in this episode. Because
please do.
We went, my senior trip, my best friend's mom took her to New York and she chose one friend and I got to go and we stayed in a hotel in Times Square and we saw as much as we could and we definitely went there. And, all of Central Park is beautiful because it's the only greenery in the city.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is so, concrete.
Concrete, glass, and steel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, but that particular part is just extra beautiful, and special.
Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to go there.
And there were so many people. It was very touristy. There were still so many people there taking pictures and looking around and happy. And I'd like to think that it's still,
Yeah.
He still has an impact.
He still does. How many years later? It's been, 50 years?
I graduated in
09.
And he died in 80.
He died in 80. Mm-hmm.
So 29 years later?
That was, 30 years later. And now it's been...
was 18. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, they sat in silence. They held hands, just strangers, and wept together. I'm going to cry. Many said that they felt like they had lost a friend, and they felt like they had lost a voice, and even a piece of themselves. That's how much they related to him.
Yeah. Other people on a normal level identified with him and agreed with him and saw their self in him. Not to the extreme crazy level like Wingnut Chapman,
Yes.
But they felt like, he's one of us.
Exactly. And he was. That's what he wanted to be.
And he told us, I struggle and I fucked up and I'm a fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
And most people can relate to that.
Mm-hmm. He made it okay to be real. He wasn't phony.
And he was calling
real.
people the fuck out. He was calling the government the fuck out.
Chapman wanted to call him phony.
Calling the wars.
Farthest thing from it.
And it would have been way easier for John Lennon to just sit in his fucking brownstone and tune everybody out. And he didn't. He absolutely used his platform to spread a message.
Yes.
A positive one.
Yeah,
unless you're pro-war, and then I guess you don't find it positive. But
he was an awesome person, artist, just an awesome person,
visionary.
icon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So worldwide, in London, Liverpool, Tokyo, Sydney, and Paris, crowds formed spontaneously. Abbey Road was covered in flowers, and radio stations played Beatles music nonstop. It's interesting that they did play Beatles music. It just goes to show you there are so many Beatles fans, rather than just playing
John's music,
the Imagine, which had been released then.
Yeah.
But they played the Beatles music, and everybody loved him for the Beatles stuff. But that was so far gone from him.
Yeah.
He had left it behind. It was another closed door in his life that he had moved on. And
he never got to the point of appreciating it or going back and revaluing it through new eyes and seeing like, this could be okay. The same way I was talking about touring. Like, he was probably nervous to go back and tour again because it just triggered so many feelings from before.
Mm-hmm.
I bet had he lived long enough, he would have gone on Beatles tours again and learned how to enjoy those songs.
I don't know that he ever would have.
A new way.
Maybe, I don't think any of the early stuff he would have gave, it was bubblegum. He was so real. He would have cared about the things that were like Lucy in the Sky.
Yeah.
That had some sort of meaning, that were artistry.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have gave a crap about the bubblegum stuff from the very beginning of the Beatles that a lot of fans care about. But I think he would have cared about
and it's the
Sgt. Pepper stuff.
You can call it bubblegum, but it was revolutionary. It changed the game.
It was.
And so isn't there an appreciation for at least that it knocked down some walls and opened up some doors?
Yeah, you're right. It really did. And he probably would have been able to appreciate that and separate it from, in his mind, he just saw it as bubblegum pop art. You know?
And I don't know. I don't know him, and I don't know. Maybe he would have been like, fuck it, I'm never touring with the Beatles again. I don't associate with that. I don't even know who that person is. I don't know.
I don't either.
I'd like to think that the joy that it brought people and continued to bring people and generations would mean something to him. I'm
sure that it did. But I think that he wanted more focus on who he was now.
And I think that I would counter that by saying, like, you wouldn't be anything now had it not been for the Beatles. So put a little fucking respect on what got you here. Like,
okay,
you
Paul.
might have eventually,
Paul McCartney.
You might have eventually got famous, but you definitely did well because of the platform you had.
I counter that with, how well did Paul do after the Beatles broke up? Not as great.
I don't know. Wings had success and
not like John's.
Yeah. Well, Paul better have fucking wept over the fact that no one was going to want to go see the Beatles live without John. No more Beatles tour. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to want to see him replaced. They are not going to accept that.
Oh, I know. Right.
So.
Okay. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. You just have to respect how you got there. Like I said, I hope that you come full circle and like appreciate what's there is to appreciate about it and separate the bad. You know what I mean?
Yes. Which is, I'm sure he could do that, you know?
Yeah.
But in their grief, people wrote letters, poems, and diary entries. Mourners said, "It feels like my childhood just died." That would have been Chris.
Yeah.
Well, if Paul had died, that would have been Chris. I don't think he gave a shit about John's music. But the grief was so deep because John Lennon wasn't just famous. He was actually a soundtrack to people's lives and their symbol of rebellion and peace and possibility and someone who had grown up with his audience.
Yeah.
He evolved. For many, his death wasn't distant, it was personal, and he had felt reachable That made the loss unbearable to people. But despite the horror of his murder, there were no riots or large-scale violence or chaos. The morning was soft, like he had become. There were candles instead of fists, and there was silence instead of shouting. And that in itself felt like a tribute to Lennon's message.
Yeah.
Give peace a chance.
Absolutely. Real fans knew that like that would be the last thing that he would want. Like for somebody to burn the city down, you know?
Yes. So Mark David Chapman was charged with second-degree murder. Don't know why it wasn't first. Maybe because he pled.
Yeah, I don't know. You
So-
did the research, bitch. Why? You should have found out.
Despite attempts by his legal team to pursue an insanity defense, Chapman insisted on pleading guilty.
Okay.
So-
Well, then, yeah, it sounds like he did.
He wanted the world to know that he killed John Lennon, and he did it intentionally.
He would be a phony if he didn't. If he tried to plead insanity,
Yeah.
he'd be the phony then. He had to say like, no, I did it and I did it on purpose.
But
Because I mean what I say. I
what
stand
he-
by my
yeah.
convictions.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in August of 81, he was sentenced to 20 years to life in prison. And he's been up for parole, but been denied every 2 years and remains incarcerated to this day.
I kind of can't believe that some hippie in jail never fucking shanked
Off
him.
him. Yeah. Well, John wouldn't have wanted that. In
I guess that's
prison-
got to be the only thing that's kept that from happening. Is like somebody's like, "You're lucky, I live and die by John." Wild.
In prison, he's been described as polite and compliant. He participates in religious studies, and he actually expressed remorse, though critics question its depth. Let's talk about his estate. I love this stuff. Like, how
Okay.
much is his estate earning? The short answer is John Lennon's estate typically earns between $12 million and $20 million per year. I know, after his death.
It's fucking wild.
Isn't it? It depends on licensing, anniversaries, and media use.
Wouldn't that be amazing to set your kids up with? Like, I'm gone and you'll never have to want for anything.
Yeah. Some years actually spike higher than that if they're like an anniversary year.
Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, like when Across the Universe came out and there was like a major resurgence and people looking up Beatles and
Yeah. It's exactly like that. Yeah.
yeah.
So even though John didn't own most of the Beatles publishing, he always retained his songwriter royalties. It is estimated that the annual income for the songwriter royalties, the mechanical royalties, and the international royalties are 5 to 8 million. And the money comes in whether or not the songs are actively promoted. John's catalog is essentially financially immortal.
Yeah, it just goes on and on.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Unlike Beatles songs, John's solo work is tightly controlled by Yogo. And that includes songs like Imagine, Jealous Guy, Instant Karma, Watching the Wheels, and Happy Christmas, War is Over. And the cool thing about Happy Christmas is it comes up every Christmas.
Yeah.
So
It's one of those songs that
yeah.
always makes it every year.
But the songs that I mentioned are also licensed for films often and documentaries or commercials. And
Think of
they're
how often Imagine is used.
they're carefully protected, though, from overuse.
Yeah.
So that they don't lose their value. But yeah, I know. The estimated annual income so the 5 to 8 was the Beatles. The John Lennon solo catalog is estimated at 3 to 6 million. Imagine alone is one of the most licensed songs of the 20th century.
Imagine that.
And when it's licensed for a major film or a prestigious TV series, the payouts can be enormous. An example is a single high-profile sync deal can bring in $500,000 to $2 million just for a single use.
God damn.
I know, right? The Lennon estate actually licenses official merchandise, artwork, quotes, and the Lennon name and likeness very selectively, it says. But that income is about 1 to 3 million per year, just for that stuff. And then the streaming era has actually extended Lennon's earnings life, not diminishing it, because Beatles and Lennon songs are constantly discovered by younger listeners. Algorithmic playlists keep the songs alive. And then seasonal spikes happen repeatedly.
Yeah.
So streaming adds millions annually on top of traditional royalties. The total estimated annual earnings, 25 to 40 million plus. And who controls the money? Yoko Ono Lennon. She's the primary decision maker. Although Sean Lennon, their son, is increasingly involved in this. And the funds support the Lennon family, estate operations, philanthropy, such as peace, arts, and humanitarian causes, and then archival preservation. So one thing that I found interesting, and I didn't find out if it was because of his own doing or because Yoko wouldn't let him. It could be either or. I'm not sure. Julian Lennon did not get things from his father's estate. He had to go to auctions and bid on memorial things that he wanted from his father's estate.
That seems kind of shitty.
Well, it could have been his own decision because maybe he just didn't want to deal with Yoko. So he might have just decided to get some memorial things by bidding on auctioned items. Or maybe she didn't want to deal with him because they did kind of leave him out of everything.
Yeah. But John was in that place of being like, I wasn't an involved enough father. I need to do better with this son. Don't you think that would mean that he understood that he should have reconciled or told Julian how sorry he was or made sure that he was included in stuff so that he knew that he was...
You would think so. And maybe that is how he felt, but maybe Yoko didn't feel that way. Maybe she was just like,
well, if Yoko was
they're
a
out of the
soulmate,
picture.
Why wouldn't you even begrudgingly be like, I'll give Julian, because I know that's what John would have fucking wanted.
It just seems like there is some sort of disconnect there because Julian's barely mentioned. I had to dig to find information out. When I'm, researching John's life, it skipped over Julian completely. I had to dig. I was like, I know he had another son. What's the name of his first wife?
Well,
it skipped over that.
And didn't you say that then later after that, 85 or some shit, he put out a song?
Yes.
So that he had to be thinking and because I have Lennon, people are going to check this out.
No, Julian said that he himself chose the route of forgiveness and peace and just let things go. So it feels like there's some sort of disconnect. Like maybe early on, Julian didn't want to talk to him.
I'm sure when he was younger, he was
Yoko
upset. Yeah.
felt that he didn't deserve anything. It's like I said, I don't know why. I don't know why
John
he bid.
Always felt so guilty that Yoko was like, you don't know how much your father loved you or felt bad or I don't know. There is a weirdness there. I don't understand, but
yeah, to have to bid on his father's items instead of just getting them.
Yeah.
And the will.
That's odd.
It's really odd. But to end this, Lennon once said, if someone thinks that love and peace is a cliche, then that's their problem. Love and peace remain eternal. His killer wanted to be remembered eternally, but history remembers John Lennon.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow.
What'd you think?
Very interesting.
It was, wasn't it?
Fucking Catcher in the Rye, weird ass guy.
Yeah. If you've stuck around this long, we thank you very much. We hope you enjoyed this series. Again, there's part 1, part 2, and this was part 3. So please go back and watch 1 and 2 if you haven't already.
Yeah, there's still, even though now you know the ending, spoiler alert, John Lennon dies.
It's good information.
There's still a lot of good stuff to know back in episode 1 and episode 2, that's for sure. So, yeah, this was interesting. I did learn a lot, but most of that I hadn't known. So, very interesting. And now I'm excited to go look through my pictures.
Yeah.
And remember being there. So,
yeah. So we thank you and we hope you'll come and see next week's episodes. I've got some good stuff already planned for next week, just juicy stuff. So I hope that you all tune in Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Hell yeah.
But thanks for stopping by.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.